Okay, party people, let's do this. It is time to do one of my favorites. I will probably say that too many times. The Sacred Sacral Yemaya Anubis Energy Center. So let's talk about the symbols and correspondences. You have your workbooks available. Hopefully, if you don't, you can go get it from the website, rayqueen.com, and fill in your workbooks with some of this information. So the meaning of the sacred chakra is sweetness. It's located in the lower abdomen and near the genitals and the womb. Its element is water, as opposed to the root chakra, which has an element of earth. Its function is desire, pleasure, sexuality, and procreation. Its inner state is tears. Its outer state is liquid. The glands associated are ovaries and testicles. Um, Other body parts include the womb, genitals, kidney, bladder, and the circulatory system. Manifestation of imbalances in this energy center will include things like impotence, uterine issues, bladder or kidney trouble, and a stiff lower back. The sound, one of my favorite things, is the D note, which is 484 to 508 hertz. I have a link in the workbook that connects to a YouTube that has this frequency, but you can Google it yourself and find that frequency and just play it whenever you want to heal or activate your sacred chakra. The color associated with it is orange. The sense is taste. The vibration is ooh, as in do. So you can just chant ooh to get that vibration. Foods, again, are liquids, and then orange foods. That should say orange foods. The verb is I feel. Herbs is Damiana. I know people who smoke Damiana cigarettes, and it's very, very good. It's very relaxing. It does give you a bit of a boost. You feel it's not like weed, but you do feel the effects of it. The deities associated with the sacred are Yemaya and Anubis, and we're going to meet them and talk more about them later on. And the chief force is the attraction of opposites. So the sacral or sacred, is located just above the root. It governs emotions, sexuality, creativity, and the ability to enjoy your life. Have you ever been drawn to someone or just been completely captivated by someone or just been unable to take your eyes off someone when they walk into a room? That person has a powerful sacred chakra. This is the passion chakra. Everything you create, from art to writing a poem to creating a baby in the womb, starts in your sacred chakra. This is where you feel. In contrast to the root chakra, which is the grounding earth chakra, the sacred chakra is associated with the flowing, moving, watery energy, which represents your emotions. Feeling is everything, and everything you feel is a sacred chakra emotion. Oh, that should have played. Being able to feel emotions without becoming a slave to those emotions happens in the sacred chakra. The sacred chakra teaches us that feelings are something we experience. They are not who we are, right? We are not our feelings. All emotions come from the sacred energy center, including the love chakra. So the strong love that we have for someone close to us comes from the heart chakra. Sorry, it does not come from the heart chakra. It comes from the sacred chakra. And many people think it comes from the heart chakra, which is the love chakra, for those of us who don't know. But that's just not true. Our most intimate relationships start at the sacred chakra. If you feel physically, emotionally, or sexually attracted to someone, it starts in the sacred energy center. The second chakra, or the sacral chakra, is called the sacral chakra because it is where life begins. That's what makes the sacral or sacral sacred. It is the sexual chakra. Sexual desire starts here. Sexual attraction starts here. Pleasure starts here. An addiction to sex might be the sign of a second chakra overload. Constantly, um, or a sexual arousal disorder might be the sign of a blocked sacral chakra. Okay. Your second chakra reflects your fertility. And people with infertility problems typically have a blocked chakra. It blocks your ability to create. So the sacred chakra is responsible for more than just sex. It is responsible for creativity, which is why it houses the womb where life begins. Someone with a healthy sacred chakra is someone who enjoys life so much that they are a pleasure to simply watch. So let's examine the health of your sacred chakra by asking yourself a few questions. In your notebook, there are a list of questions and some spaces for you to write your answers down, as well as some other things. But let's ask ourselves these questions. Are you in touch with your feelings? Do you enjoy life? What is your relationship with your emotions? How is your love life? How is your sex life? How are your social circles? How are your friendships? Do you have people in your life you enjoy being around? Do you enjoy being with others, or do other people annoy you? Are you excited about life? But most importantly, do you have trust in your friends, family, and community? Take a minute to complete these questions, and the other questions in your workbook. Okay. If you don't have trust, you'll never open yourself up to life and to living. You'll always be afraid of being taken advantage of. So if this is you, don't worry. You can learn to trust by opening your sacred chakra. And that's what we're going to help you do today. Again, the sacred chakra is located just above the genital area. It is associated with the endocrine gland. For men, that's the testes. And for women, that's the ovaries. The second chakra is a feminine chakra, which simply means it is receptive. It receives energy. It feels energy. The second chakra vibrates with the color orange, which is also the color of joy and vibrancy. And a side note here, a lot of advertisements on TV and in print will use the color orange because it is the color that people are drawn to for its vibrancy. And so people are more likely to purchase something if orange is used in the advertising than in other colors. So let's look at some phrases that are associated with the sacred chakra, and you can find these in your workbook, a space in your workbook to complete these. Number one, listen to your gut, or having butterflies in your stomach, or if you say, I have a funny feeling. Those are all sacred chakra expressions. Your spidey senses live here. When something tells you that something isn't right, or when you can't explain it, but you just don't like someone or you don't like something, that is your sacred chakra talking to you. So don't think that being spiritual or being peaceful means that you will always like everyone or everything, because you won't. And that is the gift that your sacred chakra brings. It is there to tell you when something or someone just doesn't align and doesn't feel right and isn't good for you. Pay attention to those spidey senses. The sacred chakra is all about learning to feel and being comfortable with what you feel. Learning to trust what you feel. Excuse me, I need to drink some water. It's all about magnetism. excuse me, it's all about magnetism and attraction and your ability to attract people, places, and things to you, right? So if people aren't drawn to you and things aren't drawn to you, especially things you want to be drawn to you, then you need to look at your sacral chakra. You have your sacral chakra to thank you for alerting you when things just aren't right. So this is why it's one of my favorite chakras, because if you learn to listen to that feeling that your sacral chakra is communicating with you, you'll make better choices. Trust me when I tell you, you'll make better choices. So the sacral chakra is like a pocket book or handbag that holds your emotions. So let's empty our pockets and our handbags. What emotions are in there? Are you holding on to anger from last week's fight, or jealousy from the third grade, or hatred from what your parents did to you? Or do you have happiness, joy, and peace? Act like you can pull emotions out of your pocket. What emotions are going to come out? The emotions that are most familiar are the ones you are carrying around. Let me say that again. The emotions that are most familiar are the ones you are carrying around. And if they're not good emotions, you need to do the work. You need to do some work. So the good news is you can decide which emotions to get rid of and which ones you should keep. When you awaken your passion chakra, you'll experience deep and intense emotions, more creativity. And by the way, those emotions you might not be ready for, and you might feel like, why am I crying all the time, or why am I exploding all the time? That is your sacred energy center trying to cleanse itself. So just rock with it, flow with it for a minute, okay? But you'll also experience more creativity and more intimate relationships. So start by surrounding yourself with orange, orange, orange. Buy orange flowers, the fake orange flowers like I buy from the Dollar Tree, and keep them on my desk. Just seeing the color orange can awaken your sacral, sacred chakra. Having a healthy sacred emotion means you first need to strengthen your root chakra. Remember, I talked about it's probably best to go in order. So if your root chakra is not strong, then your second chakra, your sacral chakra, won't stand a chance. And then secondly, you can't take on the emotions of others. Learn to recognize the difference between your emotions and the emotions of others, especially for those of us who are very empathic. If you're an empath, then you're going to have to do some extra work to make sure you're not carrying around emotions that don't even belong to you. Ooh, look at this. Next, I want you to change your mentality to one of abundance. In order to turn on the magnetism of the second chakra, you have to know you have the power to attract anything and that there is enough to go around, right? Do not operate from a place of scarcity or lack, because this will indeed block your sacred chakra. Next, I want you to overcome shame. Shame is the ultimate blocker of the sacred chakra. Shame implies unworthiness because it deals with the emotions behind something we've done rather than the actual forgivable act, right? It deals with internalizing the things others have said is wrong with us, right? We've bought into what other people think about us. And in your workbook, there's an exercise to complete around this. So please complete that exercise. It will serve you well. So the root chakra deals with oneness, individuality, and the earth. That's the root chakra. So the sacral chakra is moving on to an awareness of others. And with that awareness comes desires, emotions, and sexuality. So the sacral chakra is about change, right? Whereas the earth chakra, the root chakra, is about stability. But without change, our minds and our lives become dull and systematic. But consciousness thrives on change. Through change, we discover difference, right? We discover our differences. The consciousness of the sacral chakra is about duality and movement. The first chakra is about stillness. The second chakra is about movement. The sacral chakra is all about sexuality as well as emotions, sensation, pleasure, movement, and nurturance. Desire sums all this up. Desire is a need to extend ourselves. Desire is the seed of all movement. Through movement, we grow. So, when dealing with the consciousness of the second chakra, our attention is no longer on us. The first chakra is all about me, me, me. The second chakra moves our attention to things outside of us. So remember that all desire exists for a reason. All desire exists for a reason. If we suppress our desires, they will manifest in other uncontrolled areas, meaning they're going to pop up some kind of a way. And if we're not controlling our desires, or if we're suppressing our desires, it's going to show up in an unhealthy manner. So I don't care what culture we live in, desire is okay. Desire is okay, but attachment to a particular method of solving that desire is the problem. The sacral chakra teaches us to remain fluid and to go with the flow. And that's why the element of this chakra is water. Pleasure is a primary feature of the second chakra. It is necessary for the health and harmony of the body and for the healing of all relationships, including the relationship we have with ourselves. Okay, so taking care of you is a first chakra thing, but taking care of you by focusing on others is a second chakra thing. Women have been taught to suppress our desires, including sexually, emotionally, physically, and even men to some extent in our society. You need to understand that when you suppress your desires, that works against the mind-body connection, which is damaging. It is very damaging and can manifest in the form of illness. It is through pleasure that we learn to relax and release tension. We must honor our feelings and our emotions. And it is important that you know there is a difference between feelings and emotions. Feelings are the precursor to emotions. You may feel like somebody has treated you badly, but your anger doesn't arise until you think about it over and over again, or if the person does you wrong over and over again. So you can feel like something's wrong, or you can feel like somebody's treating you badly, but the emotion is the response. Feelings are the observation, but they don't create the response. The actual physiological response is the emotion, the physiological response. The emotions must be released. Releasing emotions in a healthy manner releases tension.